So hello and welcome to the VideoNAP and Twitter Tips Challenge on day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival. Yep, day 3 already. Haven't the first 2 days flown by? Altior, so impressive. As a min backer, having watched it back, I thought Min, as he was travelling, was going to go on, but once Altior gets the sight of that hill, he just powers clear. Incredible winner. Incredible horse. Obviously, it was a shame to see Duvan fall. Going very nicely at the time. It was a fair way out, but who knows what might have happened if he'd have stayed on his feet. A real shame, but you can't take anything away from Altior, a supremely good winner. Sam Crow, exceptional. The world's his oyster. Whatever he chooses to do next season, well, for the rest of the season and next season and beyond. But for me, presenting Percy was my winner of the day. He was my video nap yesterday. He was my biggest fancy of the whole week, to be fair. I say people, these once a year, your Cheltenham Festival Grand National punters, when they ask you who do you like, I was giving people presenting Percy. It's a horse I've got a lot of time for. The way he power clears is so impressive. He's got to be a massive player for next year's Gold Cup. David Russell, genius ride, travelling so well. And once he sort of asked him to go, kicked him on a bit, my life was he impressive. Love the horse. And leading on to the Twitter Tips to Challenge on Wednesdays, it was actually presenting Percy as he was my nap. It made me beat Adam Crooks by a mere 50p because it was 5-2 triple, making 15-2. Adam had Tiger Roll at 7-1, but somehow, I don't know how, because I rarely win these Twitter Tips to Challenges, but I won it again 2 days running. Thursday's Twitter Tips to Challenge is myself, Mick Doonan, Sam Sportsman, Connor Stroud, and Bob, and his Twitter handle in Ludo Veritas. That was obviously Latin for something. Hopefully, if he's watching this, he can tell me what it's Latin for. But anyway, check out their tips below the tweet with the video. My tips included. But yeah, like I say, presenting Percy, so good. Anyway, let's move on to Thursday's tips. We're going to start off with the JLT. It's a weird race. It's, as with many races on the card for Thursday, it's quite open. For the main fancy, I'm plumping for an unexposed horse. Now I know in its short inception, the JLT a 5-year-old hasn't actually won the race, but I do quite like Terrafort. Unexposed, he's only had 2 runs for Nicky Henderson in Britain. The first being a handicap at Huntingdon, where he absolutely hacked up. Next time out, he stepped up to Group 1 company at Sandown, where he won. Only just beat Surname at Sandown, but he's obviously an improving type. It's interesting that Nicky Henderson deemed him good enough to run in that race, and again deemed him good enough to take his chance in this race also. Obviously, I just think it's the unexposed nature, it's the improvement nature I like in Terrafort, and hopefully he's has a good race in him. The other chance is Finian's Oscar. Last time out disappointing. In fact, last few times out disappointing, really. I mean, he pulled up over hurdles last time out here, but maybe, I think that race was over 3 miles. Maybe he didn't stay. He ran over 2 miles at Sandown at some point this season, I'm not sure when, and I don't think 2 miles is long enough for him. So I think 2 miles, 4 furlongs, 5 furlongs is ideal. The wind up is a massive plus. I think that could bring out some improvement of him. Obviously, he's a Group 1 hurdles winner, so you can't rule him out. And I think it's like if that wind up has worked and he can pull everything together, I feel like he might be a major player. Invitation only. Again, you've got to respect his chances, but maybe on paper could have gone for the RSA. Maybe might just want a little bit further. I'm not sure. We've got Modus, who I'm just not quite convinced is a Group 1 chaser, and who else have we got? Who else have we written down? There's Benatar as well. The thing with Benatar is he beat Finian's Oscar narrowly at Ascot, but I just hopefully think with the wind up that Finian's Oscar has had, I'd like to think that maybe he might be able to improve past Benatar. At Cheltenham, different bag. Willie Cope, I'm not quite sure, but for me, it's Terrafort and Finian's Oscar in the JLT. Now it's time for the per temps. I've gone for 4 in this. It's a wide open race. I like 2 that dead heated in a race last time out. Sorted House and Delta Work. you're both looking at their profiles, you're thinking they look like they've been plotted for this. They haven't really ran their recent races much promise, but again, you're looking for horses who are nicely placing in the per attempt qualifiers, both in Britain and in Ireland, and I just feel like these horses are being plotted for this race. Edward Harty trains, sorts it out, and he's shrewd, and you know he's going to have him nicely tuned up for this. And Delta Work is trained by Delta Elliott. Gordon Elliott, of course, ridden by David Russell, the man in my eyes who can do no wrong at Cheltenham. My other two fancies are Nicky Henderson trained horses. Now, we know he can train a winner of this. He's trained winners of this in the past. I do like Thomas Campbell. Obviously, he's been tried in Group Company last couple of starts. Maybe just not quite that class. Back down in calmer waters of sorts here. Top weight is going to be a struggle, possibly. But I think at 25 to 1, a horse of his calibre, he can win at Cheltenham. Don't rule him out 25 to 1 big price. Do you want Protect They Flow? Last time would have suggested he wouldn't have stayed 3 miles. But again, these per attempt races, you're looking for horses been plotted. You know, he got the placing which was needed to get him into this race. He's classy. If he does stay 3 miles, 20 to 1 could be a nice price about Protect They Flow. Now it's for the Ryanair. You can't ignore Underso. Won the race last year so well. He ought to be winning again. I will oppose him though with a favourite of mine, a favourite of many people's. It's going to be Q Card. Won the race, can't remember exactly what year, but he won the race years ago. Been a few more Gold Cup heartbreaks since. Last year he fell when beaten. 2 years ago he fell when I reckon he might have beaten Don Cossack, who knows. But say, I'm not quite sure 3 miles 2 has been his bag. I feel like his ideal is probably 3 miles. But maybe at Cheltenham 2 mile 5 furlong is his ideal trip. Last time when he was second behind waiting patiently, he bounced back to something, I'm not saying it was his best, but it was certainly a bounce back in the right direction after pulling up in the King George. Yeah, I just feel like that this is a step in the right direction. It's going to take something big to beat Underso, but if he won, it would just bring the house down. He's a classy horse. If any horse is going to beat Underso, it's going to be Q Card in my opinion. As for the others, Balco de Flora respects, but again, I've mentioned it in yesterday's video, and obviously it's continued with Monolly not winning. Henry de Bromhead's record at Cheltenham, especially in the last 5 years or so, hasn't been the best, and maybe I'll just be swerving his horses, although I do respect his chances. Frodon, I don't think it's going to be good enough to win the race. He was behind Q Card last time in that Ascot race. I don't see why he's going to be able to beat Q Card Underso. Cloudy Dreams, a perennial second placer, and I'd actually be surprised if he's good enough to get a second here, but I don't see him winning. A sub-lieutenant, I don't think it's going to be good enough either. But for me, Underso is your likely winner, but at 11 to 10, I'm happy to oppose. It's going to be Q Card for me. On to the big one, and what a race this is. The Stayers, it's so wide open. It's the most wide open of the championship races this week, in my opinion. Although the Gold Cup is quite an open race. Check out the preview of that tomorrow, of course. But for the Stayers, it's such a good race. For me, the main fantasy is going to be Super Sunday. Won the Coral Cup last year, so he likes Cheltenham. It's drifted a little bit, whether that's the ground, but he has got form on soft ground. He was a narrow second behind Apple's Jade over 3 miles. Apple's Jade, I know, disappointed on Tuesday, but class horse, you can't deny that. And that, to me, implies that Super Sunday will stay. Group 1 winner last time at Epistad, albeit over 2 miles, but he beat Mellon, he beat Mick Jazz, he beat Faheen. I know Faheen ran a bad race the other day, but Faheen's a class horse. Mellon, Mick Jazz, champion hurdle place, beat them both easily. If Super Sunday stays, which I think, again, the Apple Shade run implies that he will, if he stays around Cheltenham, he's got the Cheltenham form. For me, he's probably a standout pick in this race, although it is a very, very hard race to call. The other pick, and it's an interesting one, it could be boom or bust with this horse, but it's the new one. He's not champion hurdle class, purely because I don't think he's a 2 mile horse round Cheltenham. I don't think he's a 2 mile horse anymore. He's won the Neptune round Cheltenham. He's won bumpers round Cheltenham, so he acts round Cheltenham. 3 miles is an unknown, but the way he's been winning his Haydock race of late over 2 mile 4 implies to me that he should be. I think he's got the class. He's a class horse. I don't think 2 miles was really showing his class off. I think 3 miles will seem to better effect. He's a classic horse, similar to Oscar Whiskey a few years back, who if there was a 2 mile 4, 2 mile 5 hurdle race for older horses around Cheltenham, the festival, that would be his ideal bag. Something like the Rail Keel, but there's not a Rail Keel race at Cheltenham. Credit to Nigel Twiston-Davies for finally running in him the 3 miler, because it's the right choice. For me, if he does stay 12-1 for this class horse, I think he could run a good race. There's so many of chances. Yanworth, can't back him purely because I can't have a horse who's been chasing, putting back down hurdles in a race like this. I sometimes think that maybe horses need a run when they're reverting from chasing to hurdling. Sam Spinner, like him at 7-2. Yes, he won last time at Ascot, and yes, the ground will help a lot. He will be a horse that revels in it, but will he like Cheltenham? Definitely the toughest race he's run in. 7-2. I mean, I don't think I'd have backed him anyway, to be fair. I thought it would have been a few of that too good for him, but 7-2, definitely not for me. What else have I got written down here? You know what I mean, Harry? In fine form before this race last year, beaten into third, not the same horse this year. I don't quite see why he should be winning this year if he could have won it last year. Holstone could go well at a price actually, but second behind Agra Park last time out. I think he's going to need a big step up to be getting involved in winning this. The other two I've got written down are a Little Rockefeller and Old Guard. Closely matched last time out. I think they both ran in that Faulkner race. The National Spirit. Little Rockefeller ran a cracker last time out. Last year went second in the Stayers hurdle behind Nichols Canyon. But for me, this is a stronger renewal. I won't say it was a fluke because he's a class horse, but I just feel like he's going to get another big career best if he's going to replicate that. And for me, he might just find a few too good. Although 33-1, if you do fancy an each way poke, he could be one to look at. But for me, Super Sunday the main fancy, the new one, it was secondary fancy. What are we on to? Oh, sorry. One more. Oh, God, this is what I mean. This race is wide open. I've got a few more to mention. Bacardi is another horse who's been chasing. Do I fancy him in a race hot as this, going back hurdling? Not for me. Lammy Surge, couldn't back him. I know he went really well. He had a really good ride by Darryl Jacob in a Group 1 over France sometime in 2017. But for me, I just think in 3 miles, a championship race at Cheltenham, I feel like he has not got the correct attitude to be winning this race. So for me, Lammy Surge, not for me. Super Sunday and the new one. What next have we got? I believe it's the Broward Advisory Place. Now, it's stat time. Sometimes stats pay off, sometimes they don't. Recent renewals of this suggest you need a horse with a mark of 154 or less, carrying 11 stone or less. 2 stand out, and I know it's bad, but I know they're both towards the head of the market, but sometimes in these big handicaps, you can let yourself off and going for 2 horses towards the top of the market. I think they're both well priced. They are Move With the Times, who, if you look at his second to Ballyandy last year in the Betfair, a good run in the handicap. He's been running some decent races at Cheltenham without winning, but decent place races. He was second behind Finian's Oscar in a Cheltenham race. He wasn't beaten far by North Hill Harvey. I just feel like he's had a handicap in mind. I feel like he's well weighted for Paul Nicholls. Obviously, JP McManus, you can't rule out anything JP McManus runs in these handicaps. I feel like he's definitely been plotted towards something like this. And for me, you got to respect the chances. The other horse is King's Socks for the Pipe stable, possibly the Pipe's best chance of having a winner this week. Slightly, yeah, he will quite 8 levels behind Modus on his British debut, but obviously his British debut, you can give him that benefit of the doubt that he's going to come on plenty for that. Another looks well weighted. If you look at his second behind Footpad when he was trained back in France. Yeah, again, the Pipe's not able to train a handicap winner around Cheltenham. Again, it looks like another one who could be well weighted. So yeah, for me, Move With the Times and King Socks in the Brown Advisory. What are we on to next? It is the Mares race. Laurina's likely going to be tough to beat. You got to respect anything that Mr. Mullins runs in this race, but it's quite a good race, and I love Maria's Benefit. You can't argue anything that she's done this season. She's tough. She's going to make it a cracking race for Laurina, and a hard race at that. For me, a 5-1 for a horse who just wins and wins and wins. You've got to respect her chances, and for me, she's going to be the back. For something slightly a bigger price, what have I gone for? I've got to read my writing. And I can't even read my writing. What does that say? Oh, my life. It is... Yeah, it's Count Easter, sorry, for Nicky Henderson. Again, another horse has been winning well. You've got to respect Nicky Henderson. Mares round Cheltenham. Yeah, he's been winning nicely, around 14-1. I think like this, to me, Maria's Benefit could be good enough to beat Lorena. I think she's a horse who in her own right could serve it up. What Lorena's done so far, I think a lot of her price is based on hype. I feel like Maria's Benefit could well win it in her own right. Perhaps also like Countista would have to win if Lorena flopped, as with a few of these would also. But for me, Maria's Benefit shouldn't be ruled out and is the main fancy, and Countista is the secondary pick. Getting done quicker this time, which is good. For the last race, Kim Muir. Plenty of plot jobs in this. We've got lots of the horses who turned up last year. We had Maldini 5th and Sugar Baron 6th in the race last year. I like them both. I really like them both. Maldini especially interesting in blinkers, but I think Sugar Baron goes off £2 higher. Maldini goes off the same weight, and especially Maldini in those blinkers. I really respect them both, especially Maldini. But for me, given that they ran in the race last year and they weren't quite good enough to win then. There's a horse in this that was unseated last year in the same race, or winning nicely. You can tell that this season he's clearly been plotted towards winning this again. It goes off the same mark, and it's Scuator for Card, Elliott, and McManus. Like I say, he was well fancied for this last year. Unseated when going well. They've clearly had it in mind again as he's run those sort of races this year. I think he came third behind Annabelle Fly. I think it was 3 miles. So it proves that he's in decent enough nick when he wants to be. It proves he can stay, 3 mile hard. For me, like I've just said, Maldini 5th, Sugar Baron 6th. We know these horses ran in this race last year and ran to a level. But for me, as Scuator unseated, it's sort of like an unknown with Scuator. What could he have done last year if he'd have stayed on his feet, or if he had knocked Jamie Codd off? Jamie Codd rides again. They've teamed up in the past with Cause of Causes in this race. For me, again, it's the unknown that at least we don't know what Scuator could have done. We sort of know what Maldini and Sugar Baron could do. So for me, Scuator is the pick. Although he's a little bit short, but sometimes with an Elliott bandwagon in these races, you got to get on it. Band of Blood's the other selection. 2 starts for Richard Newland after a long break. 2 easy wins. It's a big step up. I think they are both in veterans races. At least one of them was. It's a big step up going outside of veteran company. But clearly Richard Newland's worked some sort of oracle with him. He's winning his races really easily. And if he can carry it forward to Cheltenham in a race like this, he could run well. So it's Scuator for the main race. And Band of Blood for the main pick. Sorry, for Scuator, Band of Blood for the secondary pick. Now, I haven't even picked a VideoNAP here. I'm just going to have a quick look through my pad of ramblings to see what I'm going to pick for the nap and the next best. Let me have a look. Right. We're going to go. The nap's going to be Scuator, as I've already just mentioned. Plotted. We don't know what he could have done last year. We'd have gone close. Plotted for it. Good connections. And the wind up. I forgot the wind up. The wind up's going to bring out plenty of improvements, you'd like to think. So Scuator for the nap. Super Sunday for the next best. Should stay. Cheltenham form. Rock solid form going into this. Apple Shade form. I still think that's good. Beat Mick Jazz and Mellon last time out. So yeah, plenty to like. Super Sunday is the next best. Anyway, so they're the VideoNAP and the next bests. Again, the Twitter Tips Challenge, it's Connor Stroud, it's Sam Sportsmad, it's Mick Doon, and it's Bob in Ludo Veritas. Check out their tips below. Let's see if I can win again. I highly doubt it. And quick, I don't know, I'm not sure he's going to watch it. He's watched it twice this week, and he's going to watch it. So he's going to be in the TTC tomorrow, all being well. He's going to Cheltenham tomorrow. He might not be watching this because I know hopefully he's getting some sleep. It's going to be a big day for him. But best of luck to my mate George Saul. He's going to Cheltenham. It's the second time at the festival. He's going with another mate of mine, Rodri Furlong. It's his first time at the festival. He's not on Twitter and he rarely uses Facebook. So I can't wish him, well, I can wish him best of luck. But George, if you are watching this, best of luck, mate. I hope you smash it, you and Rodri. All the best. Best luck for the TTC. Get those fancies in Thursday evening. Anyway, enough of that. Best luck whatever you're backing. I hope you have a smashing day for Thursday. Best of luck and goodbye.